Right now, we're moments away from a presidential address updating the nation on the evacuation of Americans from Afghanistan. This is News 3 now at noon. I'm Madeline O'Neill, in for Mark today. We're awaiting an address from President Biden at this hour about the evacuations from Americans in Afghanistan. He's slated to speak at any moment. We'll take you there as soon as it begins. The president continues to face criticism over the slow pace of evacuations of Americans and Afghan allies. Nearly a week after the Taliban seized control of Kabul, the airport outside the city remains packed with people trying to get out. The Pentagon says it's evacuating fewer than 2,000 people a day, despite round-the-clock flights out of Kabul. Yesterday, the Taliban broke up protests in several cities, in some cases using force. But first, let's head to the Weather Center, where meteorologist Austin Kopnitsky has your look at your certified most accurate forecast. I hear it's going to be a hot one.
Oh, it already is hot out there. Just walking into the station a few minutes ago here, I mean, it's pretty steamy out there. Not only is it hot, it's very muggy right now. Current conditions showing quite a bit of some sunshine, generally partly cloudy skies, a high of 84, or currently at 84. We do have a high of around 88, so it is going to get even warmer than where we're currently sitting right now. Dew points in the mid-60s. Unfortunately, that is pretty elevated, so it does feel quite muggy out there. Temperatures in the 80s pretty much for all of us right now. Lower to mid-80s, 85 in Monroe. Still on the lower side of things towards Lone Rock and Mineral Point. Down in those lower 80s, but we're all seeing the elevated dew points, unfortunately. It is a very muggy day outside. Watertown, Juneau, Janesville, Lone Rock, Platteville, all in the 70s right now with those dew points. That makes it a pretty steamy day out there, but the Doppler track is showing that next round of showers and thunderstorms tracking in our direction. We still have a good state or so before it does make its way here. We still have to cross over Minneapolis, Waterloo, parts of Iowa, and by the time it makes its way here, we're really going to see that losing a lot of steam. So later on this afternoon, a high of 88 degrees, mostly sunny skies, very warm out there, very muggy as well. But then that rain chance for tonight and tomorrow, I'll have more details on that and what we should expect and when we should expect that to clear out. That'll all come up a little bit later on.
All right, thank you, Austin. Madison police are looking into a shooting on the east side. It happened near Darbo Drive. Soon after, a man showed up at the hospital with 2 gunshot wounds. 2 homes nearby were hit by bullets. A woman and 4 young kids were inside one of those homes. Anyone with information should contact Madison police. Now, more and more people are getting vaccinated against COVID-19. More than 1 million doses were administered yesterday, which hasn't happened since July. But more people are also ending up in the hospital. As Britt Conway reports, patients are getting younger and younger.
We're seeing far more young people affected by this virus, requiring hospitalization.
In fact, hospitalization rates for people under 50 are setting new records. The biggest jump? People 30 to 39 and kids under 18. The CDC says they're up more than 30% higher than their previous peak in early January.
The virus is drawing a distinction between those who have been vaccinated and who are unvaccinated.
But only about half the population is fully vaccinated, and there's still no approved vaccine for kids under 12.
COVID-19 vaccine reviews are the top priority for the FDA. It is possible that we may have vaccines for under 12s before the end of the calendar year.
But this school year has already started for many, putting kids squarely in the middle of the mask debate. In Louisiana, a mask protest at a school board meeting. In Georgia, some parents are pulling their kids out of school. In Texas and Florida, pushback against governors blocking mask mandates. In California, a parent attacked a teacher during an apparent argument about masks. And now President Biden has directed his education secretary to step in.
This includes using all of his oversight authorities and legal action, if appropriate, against governors who are trying to block and intimidate local school officials and educators.
I'm Britt Conway reporting.
Another symptom associated with long-lasting COVID-19 cases, chronic pain. That's according to UW health leaders. Researchers reviewed literature on the subject. Pain has been a symptom since the beginning of the pandemic, but long-lasting chronic pain indicates the virus may impact the human body in ways we are just starting to understand. Chronic pain was more prevalent in patients hospitalized in the ICU for COVID. That includes headaches, chest pain, and more.
They said, I may have the pain for a few weeks or so, but then they come to me 6 months after, and they tell me the pain is just getting worse. So that's kind of the trick, and the problem is that it might be, I would say, much more chronic than we anticipate.
Patient age and overall physical condition likely contribute to the risk of chronic pain after a COVID infection. The Dane County Breakfast on the Farm is back this year. The event is set for tomorrow morning at the Hinchley Family Dairy Farm in Cambridge. You'll get the opportunity to hear from Pam Yonke of the Midwest Farm Report, enjoy some live music, and explore the expo area featuring dairy information and food samples. The breakfast is brought to you by the Dairy Farm Families of Dane County. For Tina Hinchley, this is one of the biggest days for her family.
It means so much that we're able to showcase our farm and share it with our communities. And you know what? This means so much when you see kids that end up saying, when I grow up, I want to be a dairy farmer.
The event runs Saturday morning from 7 to 11:30. They do have COVID safety protocols in place. Tickets are $4 for ages 3 to 11 years old and $8 for those 12 and up. Now, before even getting started, producer Mike Richards is stepping down as the host of Jeopardy! It comes after a report about past misogynistic comments surfaced this week. Richards was chosen to succeed Alex Trebek after a long search that included multiple guest hosts. Earlier this week, a report on the website The Ringer revealed demeaning comments about women that Richards made on a podcast. Some episodes have already been taped. Jeopardy! Plans to bring back guest hosts for the time being. There's more to come on News 3 now at noon. Let's check in with Elise Preston at the New York Stock Exchange.
The global semiconductor shortage continues to weigh on automakers, and the states with the highest prices for pizza. I'm Elise Preston at the New York Stock Exchange. I'll have those stories and more in your CBS Money Watch report.
You protected our rights, preserved our freedom. You may have even risked your life for us. Now, it's our turn to fight for you. Your local Wisconsin emergency, energy, and housing assistance providers, and the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund reward the service of our veterans with rental and energy support in their time of crisis. Apply today to get the fresh start you've earned.
This is Connie Ryan of Ryan Funeral Homes. While things have changed, it's still necessary for families to stay connected. And when it comes to the loss of a loved one, it's important to process and grieve and honor your loved one in a way that keeps everyone safe. We're doing this through intimate services and private virtual streaming so your family can be part of the service no matter where they are. Ryan Funeral Homes are here with your safety in mind and compassionate care in your time of need.
Erectile dysfunction for men of all ages has become much more common. In fact, most men don't realize that 90% of erectile dysfunction is a direct result of broken down old blood vessels. This causes a lack of blood flow that is critical when achieving an erection. With our state-of-the-art technology, we're able to stimulate new stem cell growth right in our office with no pills, no needles, no surgery, and no pain.
To book your consultation and get back to natural functionability, call Peak Performance for Men today.
You call me devious, but you don't understand that all I am is a little mysterious.
So what do you think?
I love it.
Beautify your home with barn door updates from Menards. Expect great quality with Colonial Elegance barn doors. Find something unique to your style with our beautiful selection of ready-to-finish and pre-finished barn doors. Add security and style with quick set lock sets, like the Smart Code electronic lever with Smart Key security. Or choose from over 90 quick set lock sets in store or online. All quick set lock sets and Colonial Elegance barn doors are 11% off now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
I'm Naomi Coles. On this week's For the Record, more on the refugees coming to Wisconsin.
Sunday morning at 10:30, sponsored by MG&E. Trust the First Warn Weather Team for your most accurate forecast.
The ongoing chip shortage, blamed for crippling the auto industry worldwide, is causing even more problems for Toyota. The Japanese automaker announced it will reduce production by 40% in September. The bulk of the cuts will affect plants in Asia and North America, impacting the availability of some Toyota models. Johnson & Johnson will have a new leader at the start of 2022. The pharmaceutical company's CEO, Alex Gorski, will step down and transition to executive chairman. Gorski led J&J through the rollout of its COVID-19 vaccine, as well as lawsuits tied to opioids and baby powder. He'll be replaced by Joaquin Duato. In an effort to make shopping for clothes more inclusive, Old Navy is expanding its women's sizing. Starting today, sizes 0 to 30 and extra small to 4X will be available and priced equally. The new initiative, called Body Quality, will also display mannequins in sizes 4, 12, and 18. And how much dough will you pay for a pizza pie? A new index from personal finance site Expensivity ranks the states with the priciest cheese pizzas. Alaska topped the list, where a cheese pizza is now more than $9. Montana was second, followed by Oklahoma. On the flip side, North Dakota is the home to the cheapest pie at an average of $6.64. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Elise Preston.
Here's a look at the stocks at this noon hour. The Dow, the Nasdaq, and the S&P 500 are all up. T-Mobile confirms 5.3 million more customers had their data stolen. That's in addition to the 7.8 million subscribers impacted in a hack several days ago. Information from more than 40 million people who applied for credit with T-Mobile was also compromised, as well as 850,000 prepaid customers. The company says device information numbers, which can be used to track users, were stolen for some subscribers. It's also possible names, phone numbers, social security numbers, and driver's license information were included in the hack. T-Mobile says no credit card or other financial information appears to have been stolen. Macy's is giving Toys R Us new life. Again, the department store says it's partnering with a toy store chain to sell inside its department stores. Toys R Us shop-in-shops will be opening at 400 stores next year. This is the second attempt to revitalize the Toys R Us brand since it closed all of its U.S. stores in 2018. Febreze is introducing a new scratch and sniff technology to make their famous product's fresh scent last longer. The new Unstoppable Touch fabric spray releases a fresh scent with every touch on soft surfaces like rugs, furniture, and pillows. The breakthrough in what's being called touch-activated scent technology comes at a time when Americans aren't cleaning quite like they used to. Procter & Gamble is hoping the new product's promise of long-lasting freshness will help Americans smell like they have it together. The Federal Trade Commission is once again accusing Facebook of being an illegal monopoly. The FTC filed a new complaint against Facebook, stating claims that it squelched competition by buying up smaller companies like Instagram. Facebook responded by calling the lawsuit meritless, claiming it raises issues that were settled, quote, many years ago. Flight attendants are showing renewed interest in learning self-defense. The FAA reports there have been so many incidents on airplanes this year that it's levied a total of more than $1 million of fines on unruly passengers. As Errol Barnett reports, it's led to more airline employees enrolling in special training.
Boom, boom. It is no wonder why federal marshals are guiding flight crew on how to hit back.
It's getting crazy out there lately.
Sit down and remain calm. This year, it's truly been chaos in the cabin. Fists flying on this American Airlines plane this month. A Southwest flight attendant knocked bloody by a passenger in May. And people being restrained to their seats, including this man on Frontier Airlines. After being accused of groping two of the flight crew, he was wrapped with tape all the way up to his mouth.
This man got the right dentist, that's all I'm gonna say.
He was eventually charged with battery.
I would hire all three of those ladies to be federal air marshals today if they were interested. That's how much I think they're seriously taking the class.
Stephanie Metzger manages the Air Marshal's New York field office and says this post 9/11 program had been on hiatus during the pandemic. Last month, it returned with a renewed sense of urgency.
We've had great demand since we reintroduced the classes.
The FAA announced Thursday that with more than $500,000 in new fines to dozens of unruly passengers, it has exceeded $1 million in financial punishments for the year. The largest, a $45,000 fine for a JetBlue passenger who allegedly threw his luggage, got on the floor, and put his head up a flight attendant's skirt. The president of the Flight Attendants Union continues to push for jail time.
What we need to do is we need to have the DOJ also criminally prosecuting and using the penalties that are there under the law already, up to 20 years in prison for any one of these incidents.
The palm strike is certainly something that we're taught during basic training. I mean, we're also taught the elbow one.
In almost a decade on the flight deck, Judith, who declined to provide her last name, says she's never had to get physical with a passenger, but says if she has to, now she's ready.
I don't know what that's called, but like you grab their hand and then you can roll them onto the ground. I thought that was really useful. It was really surprisingly fun.
Disagreements over masks make up the bulk of the almost 4,000 unruly incidents reported so far this year, with the FAA finding alcohol played a role in almost a quarter of those disputes. And that's why airlines like Southwest and American have suspended alcohol sales, with American announcing it won't resume that service until mid-January. Errol Barnett, CBS News at Reagan National Airport.
We're watching the chance for thunderstorms early Saturday. Austin is back with the first warned forecast after the break.
Don't wait. Ashley Home Store's 4-day Labor Day preview deals are Friday through Monday. Skip the lines to save up to 60% off holiday doorbusters now. Plus, 5 years no-interest financing means you can pay as little as $17 a month for a new room full of furniture you'll love. Only at Ashley Home Store.
Your pipes need to loosen up. Your furnace needs to chill out. No more Freon for your AC. You don't need a working ceiling fan. Nothing can stop me from causing problems in your home. Oh no, the homeowner's called Action Man and his action team.
That's right, Pesky. Your problems are plunged.
Call on Action Plumbing, Heating, and Electric at iwantactionnow.com.
If your credit card debt is out of control, if you're in over your head in monthly payments, there's a secret the credit card companies don't want you to know. If you have more than $10,000 in credit card debt, you have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. That's bad news for the credit card companies, but it's great news for you. We're Credit Associates, and we're offering you free information on how to completely resolve your credit card debt with a monthly payment you can afford. To see how much you could save, call now. 1-800-914-7929. Don't declare bankruptcy. Don't consolidate. Give us 10 minutes and we could save you thousands. After all, we depend on your success and offer a guarantee so there's no risk to call. Credit Associates. Live better, debt-free. We'll even show you how to use your stimulus money to jumpstart our services and get you debt-free faster than you ever thought possible. Call Credit Associates now to see how much you could save for free. Call 1-800-914-7929.
Don't wait. Furniture and Appliance Mart's 4-day Labor Day preview appliance deals are on now. Save up to half off Labor Day appliance deals. Plus no interest financing for 18 months on all appliances with no minimum purchase. At Furniture and Appliance Mart inside Ashley Home Store off the Beltline.
Saturday morning, we hear from a local girl band in our morning notes. And Chris has your weekend weather out from an arts festival. Join us Saturday morning at 5 and 8.
The feds are pouring billions of dollars into our schools.
This is just one-time funding, so once it's gone, it's out.
As your kids return again to pandemic learning, how's it all being spent? I'll get you answers.
Naomi Coles investigates. Monday on News 3 Now at 6. The Farm Report is sponsored by Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Pam Yankee from the Midwest Farm Report is out of the radio barn today. Here are your farm numbers. Austin is back with the forecast. Warm today, maybe some rain tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I think Pam's out there having some fun right now, but I hope she drinks some water because boy is it hot out there, and it's already oh so sticky thanks to the very high dew points that we're looking at. Live look outside, still a beautiful looking day, but again, it's very warm. Now we are going to cool things down a little bit for the weekend. Not as toasty for the weekend ahead with those lower 80s filling in. Plenty of sunshine along the way, but some thunder early Saturday morning. That's going to be our best chance to see that here for this weekend. Towards the afternoon hours on Saturday, we really do a good job of clearing things up, and we're looking good to go on our Sunday as well. 84s in Madison and Janesville. Right now, 81 degrees in Wisconsin Dells. Very consistent temperatures that we're looking at with those lower to mid 80s right now, but unfortunately, much of the same with the dew points, and they're consistently very high. So the mid 60s are common, but where we're not seeing the mid 60s, we are seeing lower 70s. Watertown, Juneau, Janesville, Lone Rock, Platteville, the list goes on. And once we really hit these 70s, it starts to feel very, very muggy outside. So unfortunately, that's what we're dealing with here for today. That is cranking up the heat index a little bit for some of those communities, especially that are seeing those higher dew points. Watertown, Juneau, Janesville feels like it's in those middle to upper 80s, but these heat indices are going to rise a little bit more, especially as these temperatures continue to jump up. A high expected of 88 degrees. Saturday, notice that cool down, 83. And then for Sunday, we're looking at just about 80 degrees, but then we're going to warm things up pretty quickly afterwards. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, quite a bit warmer, a little bit muggier, and we're bringing back some rain chances for those 3 days. But afterwards, with the cooler temperatures, we're going to see a lot of sunshine towards the end of this forecast. Rain chances, again, it does look like tomorrow still our generally best chance to see those rain chances. And then we're also looking at Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, just about a 30% chance as of right now. But we're still about 9 inches behind where we should be for this time of the year. That's why we have that moderate drought. It's going to really be a struggle to catch up before this year is done. But with those rain chances, that could push us a little bit in the right direction. Doppler track is showing that next round of showers and storms just out to our west. We are looking at that potential for severe weather later on today, especially towards Minneapolis and Omaha. But notice how this sharply cuts off by the time it reaches western Wisconsin. Now, I'm going to show you exactly why. By the time we actually see Saturday, no severe weather is expected as of right now. So let's take a look at the latest future track. It does still show those strong possible storms out to our west later on tonight, and I mean late tonight. Look at the timing here, 1:30 a.m., still not even in our state, but by the time it tries to sneak through our area, it completely falls apart, leaving us with just a few showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm as well, but then towards the afternoon, we do a great job of clearing things out, sunshine behind it, lower 80s. It's going to be a great finish to the day tomorrow, but to start things out, those morning showers and storms, not going to feel too good if you're stuck out there tomorrow morning. But afterwards, we're looking at plenty of sunshine on our Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday bring back that chance of a shower or storm. But the end of this forecast, oh, I would take that year round if I definitely could.
All right. Thank you, Austin. There's more to come on News 3 now at noon. Up next, let's see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Do you know apples aid in our digestion? We're taking on America's first orbit around the moon and are a favorite of all ages. Wait till you see what we do with that.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Since 1976, Feldco stood the test of time. It's Feldco's 45th anniversary! Time to get down! To celebrate Feldco's 45th anniversary, get 45% off windows today. That's cause for a celebration.
45% off windows won't last long. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
A nursing home promises to care for our parents as cherished loved ones. But if your parents have been injured in a nursing home, we can help. Habish, and Rotier. We fight for what's right.
Patio doors, patio doors. Scott the window guy can do patio doors. Scott the window guy can do patio doors.
We do patio doors. That's ScottTheWindowGuy.com.
Hello, I'm Roman Ryan of Ryan Funeral Homes. As a locally owned and operated funeral home, it's important to know that not all funeral homes are the same. Some other Madison area funeral homes are actually owned by corporations based outside of the United States. A corporately owned funeral home is focused on the bottom line, making services more costly. We have served local families for more than 80 years, and our priority is investing in the community and your family. In your time of need, Ryan Funeral Homes are here for you.
You protected our rights, preserved our freedom. You may have even risked your life for us. Now, it's our turn to fight for you. Your local Wisconsin emergency, energy, and housing assistance providers, and the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund reward the service of our veterans with rental and energy support in their time of crisis. Apply today to get the fresh start you've earned.
McGann Furniture in Baraboo has a question for you. Have you ever bought a piece of furniture in a box and then had to put it together yourself? We know it's not fun. At McGann's, everything is professionally inspected and assembled before pickup or delivery. Goodbye headaches, and there's no extra charge for assembly. And remember, at McGann's, we don't inflate prices only to mark them down for a sale. Stop in soon and discover the difference. You'll be glad you did. McGann Furniture, downtown Baraboo.
The dish we're making today was taken on an orbit around the moon, aids in our digestion, and is a favorite of all ages. So let me show you how to whip up an easy homemade applesauce that you can enjoy without ever leaving the atmosphere. We start by peeling, coring, and chunking up about 8 apples. As far as the kind of apples to use, I suggest picking up an assortment. That way, your applesauce will have a great depth of flavor. These go into a pot over medium heat, along with some apple juice or cider, a bitter brown sugar, and a stick of cinnamon. After it comes to a boil, lower the heat, cover it, and let it simmer. Make sure you stir it occasionally so everything cooks evenly. As for how long to cook it, well, that depends on how chunky or smooth you like it. Personally, I love chunky applesauce. Once it's done, you can use your homemade applesauce to dress up everything from pork chops to potato pancakes. Or you can eat it as is, which is my favorite. To get this budget-friendly recipe, all you have to do is check out our website and look for Chunky Cinnamon Applesauce. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a cinnamon-kissed way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
We'll take a final check on the weather with Austin. We've got a nice hot August day today.
Yeah, we really do. I mean, these are why we call it the dog days of summer. It's hot, it's sticky out there. We have an expected high temperature of 88 degrees. Right now we're at 84, so we're still a little bit behind. That means it's just going to get a little warmer before this day is done. Mostly sunny skies overhead, partly cloudy at times like we're looking at right now, but the sunshine is really going to come back in full force over the next few hours. Very warm, and then later on tonight we're going to build up the cloud cover, bring that late chance of showers and thunderstorms, and some of those are going to likely linger into parts of Saturday morning. Towards the afternoon on Saturday, we do look to dry things back out, and a high temperature of 83 degrees. End of the day on Saturday is really going to feel pretty nice, and then all day Sunday should feel nice with the lower 80s and sunshine. And the end of this forecast also looking fantastic, but a few rain chances at the beginning of the week.
All right, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful weekend.